At Optavia, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the Optavia community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join Optavia, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with Optavia. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent Optavia coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with Optavia is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Optavia acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to Optavia coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent Optavia coaches operating in the US, please see the Optavia Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the US Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent Optavia coaches operating in the US under the US Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in Health, the Optavia team.
All right, well, welcome everybody. My name is David Bush and I get the honor to be your host and moderator tonight for this Habits of Health community time. This is an amazing 30 minutes that we get a chance to come together as a community and talk about matters of health. We talk about our Habits of Health system, we talk about challenges that we face, and we come together as a community all with the common vision of creating health and well-being in our lives. If you're just joining us for the very first time, welcome. We're glad that you're here. If you're a returning visitor, we're so glad you're here too. Would you just put in the chat feature what you love about this? Because we would love for you to share with those guests that are just joining us maybe for the first time what the benefits are for making this a priority. Whether you're listening to this live on your phone, if you're watching the actual live webinar or recorded on the YouTube playlist, or maybe you're listening to this as a podcast, and we're so excited that you're here. Lots of different ways to plug in, but for those of you that are returning visitors to the Habits of Health community time, put in the chat feature what your greatest joy is and why you show up to watch these on a regular basis. As we put that in the chat feature, I just want to give you a little bit of a background. My name is David Bush, as I said earlier. I'm an independent certified Optavia coach. I have been on this journey for the last 11 years, and I am continuing to learn how to create optimal health and well-being in my life. I lost 100 pounds with our amazing health program and with this amazing healthy community. And so I feel privileged and honored to go from where I've been to where I am today to be able to get a chance to lead this and to be able to help encourage each and every one of you. This program has made a tremendous difference in my life and the lives of millions of other people. And that's why it's so exciting to have each and one of you here today. If you're just a visitor or maybe you're just starting on your journey, you may not really know what to expect, but I can tell you as you begin to meet the other community members here in our Habits of Health webinars and you listen to their stories and you start to understand that they too were at a place that they didn't want to be. And now they're in a completely different place. And that can be your story. If you begin to start to plug into the resources and the process and the support that we offer. And tonight we're going to be talking about three major things as it relates to understanding and clarifying your why. We're going to be focusing in on these three major categories: your mindset, your skill set, and action. Each one of these three particular areas are going to be covered each and every week for the next 52 weeks of this year. So I hope that you make this a priority to plug in, because tonight is our kickoff call. It is our kickoff call for the rest of the year. So because we want to help you to live the healthiest and best year ever, we're going to continue to bring you great resources and great content. Now I'm going to go ahead and put up a poll here, and this is a feature where if you just select your answer, the poll will go away. All you have to do is select your answer and then click submit. But we would just love to see who's joining us here tonight as we kick off this new year. So would you go ahead and put in the answer that best describes you, whether you're a client of our program, a coach, or maybe you're just a guest. Welcome to each and every one of you. And as we start to wrap up that poll, I would like to have everybody come back and participate. If you haven't done so already, click on the response so that we understand what our attendance is tonight, so that we can cater our message to the needs of the individuals that are here. Thanks everybody for participating. So let's continue with the presentation. Many of you are aware that we have this thing called the Habits of Health Transformational System. This is the curriculum that we use for these Habits of Health calls. Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson is the 10th physician, board certified in critical care, and he's the one that created this amazing system that is what the curriculum that resides inside of the Optavia program. And you'll get a chance to learn more about this system if you're not familiar with it yet. Some of you may already have it, but you haven't really immersed yourself into it. But please be sure to reach out to the person that invited you tonight so that you can get more information. Make sure that you download the free app. The person that invited you or shared this information with you, they can give you the link so you can download the free app so that you can start tracking your habits of health going into 2020. You can also get a preview of the Lifebook and access to a website that has a ton of healthy resources that will help support you in your journey. Now, inside the Lifebook, there's 26 different elements, and every 2 weeks we're going to cover a new element. And tonight we're going to be talking about element number 1. And the topics of element number 1 is to really identify, why are you here? Why are you here wanting to become healthier and to create change in your life? And then we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can really get the intrinsic motivation going for you. Some of you may be just trying to get a few pounds off before spring break or before summer, and that's perfectly okay. But what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to explore, in your own words, why are you ready to begin to create health and well-being in your life? And hopefully it's optimal health and well-being. Dr. Anderson is quoted in the Lifebook as saying, I would define optimal health as a state characterized by anatomic, physiologic and psychological integrity and optimization which supports optimal well-being. It is the ability to perform at a highly effective and satisfying level. You will be able to fulfill valued family, work, faith, and community roles by developing the ability to deal with physical, biological, psychological, and social stress while maintaining internal equilibrium and external stability. Now, for those of you that are still trying to grasp the enormity of this message, and you're just trying to understand this concept of just getting healthy, let alone creating optimal health, well, that's the difference about what we're doing. Is we're not just trying to get healthy. Each and every one of us is learning to create optimal health and well-being in our life so that we can sustain and create lifelong transformation. And this is a mindset shift. This is kind of the awakening. Excuse me. This is why we want you to begin to start shifting the way that you think so that you can begin to join us in this idea of not just trying to get rid of a problem like weight or medication or some sort of a pain or problem that you have, but that you start creating the outcome, the desired outcome that's inside of your heart. And so can I ask another quick polling question? I would love for each and every one of you to just share with me what answer best correlates to where you are right now. So if we can go ahead and bring up that poll, we'll get an idea of where everybody is in terms of defining their why. So the answers that are available for those of you that are just listening is, yes, I have a clearly defined why, and it's in a visible space or visible place, and I review it often. The next answer is, yes, but I feel a need to revisit it, put it in a visible place, and review it more often. The third answer is, yes, I know my why in my head, but it's not in writing yet. And the fourth answer is, no, I'm not sure what my why even is. Would you go ahead and cast your vote so that we can get a chance to see? And we're going to go ahead and share these anonymous results so that everybody can get an idea. But we'd love to have everybody vote. So if you haven't already voted, come back and cast your vote, and we'll wrap up the poll in about 15 seconds or so. And while we're doing the wrap up of that poll, I would love to get a chance to introduce you to Dr. Sharon Fleischer. Dr. Sharon Fleischer has been an amazing partner, an amazing friend, and she's got an amazing story about how, as a family practice physician, she became awakened to her why, and now she has become very excited about where she's going and why she's going there. Dr. Fleischer, welcome to the webinar.
David, thank you so much. I am truly humbled by this opportunity to talk to you all about how elements of this, especially element 1 of the Habits of Health Transformational System, has changed my life and many others. As David said, I've been a family physician now for 20 years, and I was pretty good at my job. But what really was happening is that I was managing my patients' sicknesses. I wasn't really helping them in the way that we in Optavia can help clients to really fulfill their dreams, because I wasn't sure how to dream myself. In reality, I was struggling. I was full of self-doubt and fear, and I was unable to help my patients to actually change their mental health enough to make a difference in their physical health. I learned, and we all understand the role that mental health plays with our physical health. But since I wasn't living it, I certainly couldn't share it with my patients. It was about almost 7 years ago now that my patient is the one who introduced me to Optavia. See, David was his health coach. And then I immediately connected with David, and through his guidance and his coaching and working through the elements of the Habits of Health, my world changed completely. Because my why got to my soul. It got to the core to recognize that I can admit now I was struggling and I wasn't in my best place. I had to dig deep enough until it was a little bit painful that I had to share it with David. I had to get clear that what I wanted was so much more important than anything else, that nothing could stop me to go and get it. So I realized that my past thoughts don't define me. My current thoughts and thinking actively about my dreams and what I want more than anything is time with my family and ability to travel and change the lives of more people than I can do in a single family practice office. That makes my actions each and every day purposeful, strategic, and moves me closer and closer to that goal. And every day I can wake up smiling, refreshed, and full of energy. I feel vibrant, and I've got a clarity that I've never had before. But it's because I never understood the value of journaling, of answering some very difficult and deep questions. The system has blown me away. From all of the education that I've had, I have become a better woman, a better mother, a better wife, and a much more superior physician because of this system, just in my ability to tap people in to digging deep, getting to the core of what matters most to them and finding their area of pain, and then connecting that to a vision of what they want to create for themselves. And to David, I can't thank you enough for being there for me for the last 7 years. It's life transformation at its best. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Sharon. And I'm just watching the comments, and there's so much vulnerability of people just being real about where they're at and where they're struggling. And the reality of it is that a lot of us are struggling with our why because we've never really been taught or led or guided. And that's what's so amazing about this program is that we could give you the life book and tell you to go write out your why. But what we've found is that in the coaching process, it needs to be drawn out, because sometimes we don't ask certain questions of ourselves, or we don't take the information that's being asked to us on paper and we don't dig a little deeper. And that's the question that I'd like to have each and every one of you answer, is that why are you ready right now to change and to make 2020 the healthiest and best year ever? Do you have a list of reasons in their life book? And you can reach out to the person that invited you to this, and they can get you a preview of the first 2 elements of the life book, just so you can get a chance to go through this. If you don't have that, I'd love for one of our leaders to put the link to that free preview in this chat feature, just so that everybody that's on the live presentation has access, because there are some privileges of joining these live. So if somebody would put the link in there, and then if you did not get it live, you can reach out to the person that invited you and they can get you a copy to that link. But in terms of really creating your why, Dr. Anderson really leads us to the point of saying, you know, on willpower alone, we're only so powerful. You know, we only have a certain amount of power with willpower. And if we don't develop the skill power, where we actually start practicing habits of a healthy mind and habits of healthy nutrition and habits of healthy hydration and movement and motion and sleep and support systems and surroundings, we have not developed the second level of power, which is the skill power through the development of habits, not just drive or grit. Drive and grit will only get us so far. But if we begin to start writing and journaling these things down, we can begin to become awakened. It's actually considered more of a process than an event. Tonight's event is just the awakening. Hopefully the awakening gets you moving and gets you out of sleepwalking or sleep talking through life. And if you begin to start making a list of why you want to be healthier, think about the simple things like your family, your friends, the fun that you want to have in life, your finances, the future opportunities. A lot of people are discriminated against when it comes down to job raises and opportunities. Maybe they're set aside from certain events because of where they're at in their health. I know many people can't certainly get up and go climb a mountain if they want to, but some people can. And those people oftentimes get opportunities to climb mountains. So maybe you have been missing out on some opportunities. Maybe from a faith perspective, you'd like to be more honorable with your health as it relates to your faith. All of us have our reasons, and it's important for you to know what your reasons are. And I'd love for you to hear the reasons that Pete Drury came up with. Pete's a middle school counselor, so he actually has a degree in understanding more of the deeper end of the pool as it relates to counseling an individual, but he's also become a transformed Optavia coach and actually had his own story of creating his why. And I'd love for you to hear more of how he discovered it. Pete, welcome to the webinar.
Hey, David, thanks for giving me this opportunity to join you tonight and to share with you guys just the gift that each of us have in our hands with Optavia. And I love what Dr. Anderson has done with the Life Book and really laying things out and going element by element and really peeling back the layers of our story and helping us to rewrite our story. And as we launch in 2020, I just want to start by saying a lot of things are possible in the upcoming year, these next 12 months. And really it depends on this first element, getting clear with your why. It was a little over 2 years ago where as a school counselor, a middle school counselor nonetheless, I have friends and family that a lot of times question my sanity when I tell them what I do for a living, but I love it. I love middle school kids because there's no filter. They are living life and they're learning and growing, and you are right in the crossroads of a lot of very difficult decisions that will change the course and the direction of their lives. And to be able to serve in that role and to be in that environment and work with those kids and build relationships is a passion of mine. 2.5, 3 years ago, I had gotten to a point where because I was living out my passion and not taking care of myself, I was not able to give as much as what I really wanted to. There's a saying that you can't pour from an empty cup, and my cup was running pretty dry, and I knew I needed to change. I had a why. I had lots of whys. I love my family. I'm very focused on my family. I love helping other people, but without getting clear on your why and taking care of yourself, those other things start to slowly fade away. And I know many on here that are maybe checking us out or checking Optavia out and taking a look at this Life Book are kind of questioning, why are things fading? Why am I not moving forward with my goals? And that was me. I was really good at a couple pieces of the puzzle, but overall it just caught up to me. And so through the course of my journey, I rediscovered my why, really got in touch with my why, surrounded myself with a powerful community and an awesome coach. And I was able to hit my physical goals, but even more than physical goals, what I have seen is just the transformation of really the power of your why. So as a counselor, when I'm talking with kids and families, there's two approaches. I could tell the kids what to do in any situation that comes into my office, or I can ask them questions about what's going on, and I can help them discover what they feel would be the best approach, what would bring the best clarity and the best resolution to whatever situation they're going in. And one of the questions that I bring up when we're talking is, who do you want to be? So as you're working through whatever issue it is, who is it that you want to be? And I found a lot of middle schoolers have not really thought about that. They haven't really thought past today, let alone years ahead. But it starts great conversations. And the reason why I ask that question is because it brings them back to their why. Because as they start sharing with me about who they want to be, then the next question is, why is that important to you? And what I've loved as a coach is to be able to partner with family and friends and coworkers and community members and ask those very same questions and really help them to dig deeper into what is their why. Because it was when I did that I was already, life was good. I was already doing a lot of good. I was serving our community and our school. We're very active in our church. And but when I started digging deeper into my why, that passion and that purpose strengthened as well. And when your passion and purpose starts to strengthen, you get crystal clear and focused in on what's most important to you, then you start making a bigger impact. And so as I've kind of went through this, and as I continue to learn and grow, that passion is stronger, that purpose is stronger. There's been a better focus. Another thing that I talk with my students about is a quote that I came across. Actually, ironically, I came across it shortly before I started my journey. And the quote says, "You cannot be what you cannot see." And I was always the big guy. Like, I was always involved in athletics. I was athletic. I was competitive, but I was always just kind of the big guy. And as I'm talking with my kids, and I'm talking about habits, and I'm talking about this quote, "You can't be what you can't see," like, it dawned on me that I was missing out. Like, there was better. I could take better care of myself so that I could get deeper with my why and have more of an impact. And the truth is that that's true for each one of you. Everybody that's watching this now, everybody that listens to this, when you get crystal clear on your why, it takes you to places that you once thought were just a dream. It brings a deeper level, a deeper meaning to this life that we're given if we're crystal clear with our why. We all have 24 hours to invest every day. Our days are numbered, and how you invest your time. Are you investing your time in your why, or are you spinning your wheels trying to figure things out, or are you just surviving? And there were many times where life was good, but I was coasting through and just kind of surviving, and I wasn't able to fully pour into others the way I wanted to. We had the opportunity this last spring to see the Grand Canyon for the first time. And, I've seen pictures of the Grand Canyon. I've watched documentaries and videos of the Grand Canyon. I've listened to other people tell me about their experience at the Grand Canyon, but there's a reason why they call it the Grand Canyon. And the Grand Canyon is grand when you see it with your own eyes. It's amazing. And so that is what the power of why is. When you get crystal clear with your why, the Grand Canyon appears. It's not just looking at pictures. It's not just hearing different stories, but when you get focused in on your why, the whole world opens up, and your passion and your purpose becomes laser focused. And so I'm so thankful for the opportunity, not only to move my health in a positive direction, but as you saw in the pictures, being able to impact my family members and other people that are very close to me. It has been an amazing couple of years, and I can't wait to see what 2020 holds. So thank you a lot, David. I really appreciate it.
Great. Thanks so much, Pete. Love hearing your story. And, Pete and I had an opportunity when we were out in Arizona just a couple months ago to climb Camelback Mountain. And, I never had that on my list of reasons of why to get healthy, but because I had a thing that said run a 5K, and because I had something on there that said run a half a marathon, I never thought I was going to run a half marathon. I wasn't a runner. I was only running if I was being chased. I mean, I didn't like to run, and I didn't know I could climb mountains. But when you're partnered with the right people, you start to find your why. And what happens is that even things that you never dreamed about doing, you all of a sudden start dreaming about doing when you hang out with people with a strong why. So I want to go ahead and share the polling results from all of the people that participated. So the polling results, the highest percentage, first answer, yes, I have a clearly defined why. It's in a visible place and I review it often. 25% of our participants had that. 35% of our participants said, yes, but I need to revisit it and put it in a visible place and review it more often. I love it when it's, Zig Ziglar once said, motivation's like bathing. It only works when you do it. And so reviewing your why is actually a form of remotivating yourself. The third answer was, yes, I know my why in my head, but it's not in writing yet. That was 36% of the participants. And then 5% said, no, I'm not sure what my why even is. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. You're enough. You're okay. Just continue to keep showing up and keep participating in this process and this program and connecting with your coach or the person that invited you here, and they will start leading you in the right way. They'll start sharing with you an opportunity. And if you take the time to go through the life book will also stimulate the conversation, and then the coach or the person that invited you will start feeding you more resources to help awaken you in your why. One of the last things that I'd love for you to do is just write down the words why, and then write down the word how. And Jim Rohn, the famous author and speaker, said, you know, when the why is bigger, the how is easier. When the why is big, you're going to find that you will overcome any obstacle or barrier. The bigger the why, the bigger the try. The word why is actually defined as what heals you. And some of you need some healing. Some of you have had some things that have gone on in your past. And, you know, when it comes down to defining your why, Pete, you know, oftentimes we have to go to a deeper level. We have to ask the question, why? And then we have to ask the question of why that is important to us. Would you share just a little bit about just going through the process of asking the question why again and again and again to get to the real heart of the matter?
Absolutely. And this is a great activity to do with others. So, I mean, my passion and my purpose is my family. As long as I can remember, I had dreams and goals of being married. My wife and I started dating in high school. And, you know, we talked about and dreamed about being married and having a family. And I'm blessed with 2 boys. You know, my why is my family. And so as I started to struggle at times and not be able to fully be there, whether it be because physically I was just exhausted, or maybe my time, I was overcommitted and away from home a lot. You know, getting clear with your why. You know, it first started when I came across it. I thought my why should be, well, the reason I'm going to do this, I'm going to lose some weight. I want to lose some weight. But as you drill down with this why is losing weight important? Well, I want to be active with my family because that's my passion. That's part of my purpose. I want to be able to pour into other people. Well, why is that important? Well, that's who I feel I've been called to be, what I've been equipped to do, and what gives me the most joy. Well, so why is that important? And you just keep drilling down further and further and further. And just like David said in the quotes he shared, when you get crystal clear on that, there's going to be problems that arise. There's going to be struggles and temptations that come. But when you're focused in on your why, everything else doesn't matter. Those excuses and those different things that come are going to be difficult, but that's why the support from our coach and our community and getting clear with your why helps those things to melt away, because what matters most is right in front of your eyes. And all you have to do is take one step at a time, and you become one step closer and closer to that ultimate goal and what you want to accomplish and who you want to be. And so digging deep in the why and going deep in the why is essential to lifelong transformation. Not just hitting a goal weight, not just reaching some goal, but lifelong transformation. And that is one of the best things about what Dr. Anderson has given us.
Thanks so much, Pete. As we wrap up here today, I'd love to just give you some action steps to put you into action. You know, motivation is a contraction between 2 words, the word motive, an idea, that we just gave you some ideas, and the word action. So in terms of action, kind of go back and reflect, you know, what does this element mean to you right now? And what does this element give you the opportunity to reflect on that may require a little bit more investigation or a little bit more journaling or exploration? And then what actions are you going to take as a result of this element? Would you be willing to just commit to reach out to the person that invited you and share what you came up with? What were some of the takeaways that you got tonight? And we're really trying to serve you guys well. And would you just go ahead and and participate in one more poll and just let us know if this is something that has served you well. And if this has been something that has been helpful to you. For those of you that are listening to the auto recording, we don't have an opportunity for you to rate this, but we would really love for you to rate our podcast and to be able to give us some feedback on how we're doing in the comments of YouTube channels, if you have the ability to do so and you're watching a copy of this recording. As we continue on with that poll, and I'd love for everybody to participate before we wrap up, I want to remind you that our Optavia YouTube channel has the ability for you to subscribe so that you receive notifications on when a new video has been posted. We typically post this video a few days after the live version because we want to encourage live participation. So it's usually available within 72 to 96 hours after the live presentation is done. But check back with the person that invited you for a copy of the link. There's also a whole bunch of recordings in here that you can listen to at your leisure. And we really would love to receive those comments and feedback to really help us to understand if we're serving the needs of our audience or if we need to explore new topics. So I'd encourage you to make this a priority in your calendar. Put this as a rock in your calendar. If you can't catch the live version, make sure you watch the recorded version. Next week, we're going to be talking about secrets to achieving your New Year's resolutions, some breakthrough strategies and tips that come from element number 1 of the Life Book, and also a whole bunch of great other resources from one of our independent certified coaches, Charlene Green. So thanks for joining us for the Habits of Health webinar. We're going to go ahead and conclude this presentation, and we'll start our next presentation shortly. Thanks, everybody.
At Optavia, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the Optavia community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining Optavia. But please note that they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with Optavia. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent Optavia coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with Optavia is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Optavia acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to Optavia coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent Optavia coaches operating in the US, please see the Optavia Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent Optavia coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the Optavia team.